Hello, hi. Nice to be here too.
In the south of France.
I know, the warm, hot south of France. It's great. We got a fan blowing. A pleasure.
Yeah.
So Julie, you head brand experiences and industry marketing at Meta.
Yes.
And obviously we've worked on a few interesting projects together.
We have.
This feels like it could be Meta's year in some respects because we're seeing the glasses all over the beach, right?
Yes.
AI is still a big topic, how it integrates into product, into marketing, and obviously what you do and what Meta does is at the forefront. So I was a little bit curious, what do you consider great brand experiences today with in this new normal, this new world?
Oh, I mean, we're in the center of experiential, I feel like, in Cannes Lions. It's an incredible week. There are so many different brands here on the beach, and you can really go through and see the reflection of each of the brand's personalities with how they're activating on the beach.
Yeah.
So for us, we are really, our experiences in general across the board, whether it be at Cannes Lion or globally, are really about connection. That is at the center of everything that we do. It represents, our platforms and how people connect and engage on our platforms. At Meta Beach, in particular, we're really focused on culture, community, connection, creativity, and how that all comes together to really enable people to leave with a really meaningful experience that, again, is rooted in connection.
Wow. And it starts with meaningful connections, but it's also, I think one thing Meta's famous about is the data, the ROI, right?
Yes.
That all feeds back into itself.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about sort of historically how brand experience has been a challenge and how today it's evolving and it's becoming more critical?
I would say, so following COVID, coming out of COVID, and I think this is true for both Meta as well as other brands, there was a lot of scrutiny around how do people re-engage? How do we come back together after being remote and, transitioning back into this IRL type of environment? And what do those investments look like? A lot of companies were also recovering financially. And so at Meta, we spent a lot of time really redefining the value of our experiences, how they impact sales, how they impact engagement, how they support our brand and what we're all about, the innovative technology that fuels connections, how are we bringing those to life, and what does that investment look like? And so in order to do that, we really had to look at what has been the impact historically? What do we want the impact to look like going forward? And so we were really, really fortunate in that we have an incredible data science team within Meta who is dedicated to exploring the impact of our events year after year. And so we've been able to measure things like sentiment, product adoption, incremental revenue, and it's been a real journey for us.
Wow.
And we're finally able to really prove the value of every big cultural moment and interaction that we invest in, which is really important because experiences are also a huge part of the go-to-market campaigns for all of our products at Meta. And so when you think about being able to engage people, in real life, and you need more investment, the data is there to prove that.
Right. I mean, I've been doing experiences for many years now, and something that Meta's done well is provide for brands an opportunity to go deeper into measurement and ROI.
Yeah.
For many years, it was about brand elevation, sort of this obscure metrics.
Yeah.
And now it's like how deep, how many shares, what were they looking at?
Yeah.
And in this new hands-free sort of world, right?
Yes.
That the glasses are teasing us and then future product roadmap.
Exactly.
It means that brand marketers are going to have this depth of data and we'll be able to create things that are so much more effective, but also the connections, I think, will be demonstrably, we'll be able to show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think too, it's full funnel.
Right.
Experiences used to really sit at the top of the funnel. You can really carry those through every aspect of the marketing funnel today. And I think that's one of the things that we're really proud of is being able to show that value across the entirety of the funnel. And it's been a great journey for us.
Fantastic. I think everybody's curious to know, and I know there can't be too many releases, but if you could pitch for us a bit a North Star for where Meta is going now? Because brand change, new products. We were talking earlier that when you joined the company, they didn't have physical products yet.
Yes.
And now it's a completely new world,
Totally
and some of these
different
products are highly adopted.
Yeah.
So where is the company looking at? What could you tell?
Well, I think what we're hearing this week, it's all about AI. And AI really being table stakes. You absolutely have to be using it as a brand. And how does that AI come into play as you're talking about experiences, partnerships, broader go-to-market plans? And for Meta, I think right now we're really looking at how AI can complement specifically for marketing, every aspect of the funnel. Right. So we're talking about creativity this week. There's a lot of discussion around whether or not AI is going to replace creativity, and creativity is a process. Yeah. I think there are different aspects of the creative process where AI plays a really important role, and that's where Meta comes into play. Whether it's through AI creative tools, whether it's capturing content in the moment through Ray-Ban Meta AI glasses, whether it's surprise and delight moments. We were talking about Imagine Me. Yeah. We just hosted LlamaCon a couple of weeks ago, and just the excitement around being able to, imagine yourself on the space station, as an astronaut through a really fun surprise and delight experience. People were really excited about that. It also, I think, has the ability to take some of the anxiety around the technology because it becomes more playful. Versus threatening.
Yeah, I think that was a big topic last year. There was sort of an ambivalence.
Right.
So brands felt obliged to use AI to show that they were keeping up.
Yeah.
Creators were sort of is this a threat?
Yeah.
I think what Meta's done well, and the work we did together at Lavacom, is showing that AI is additive.
Yes.
It
is.
It's not trying to masquerade as a real image.
Right.
It's an additional tool or paintbrush to create with.
Yeah, it's complementing everything that you're doing, whether it's in the in your marketing campaigns, whether it's part of the creative process, whether it's in IRL, experiential. Yeah. It really is additive, and I think the people who embrace that are the folks who are really going to thrive in this type of environment.
So one of the topics that we're hearing a lot at Sport Beach at the moment is CMOs saying, listen, we're using AI, our agencies are helping us use AI. How do we go beyond just keeping up and saying we're using AI to getting to a place where AI is providing the same goals that they share with Meta, which is connecting more deeply with people, offering new tools of engagement and excitement and fun. Could you touch a little bit on that? What do you think is like the vision, and how could you help brands?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's a little disconcerting, I think, for brands right now is what type of AI technology do I utilize to really create to differentiate us from other brands or give us that competitive edge. And I think it's really understanding, and even at a high level, what are the key tools out there that are relevant for brands that can help them get ahead. So, for example, Meta AI creative tools. That's going to be really useful for, agencies creating ad campaigns, or brands who have in-house creative teams who know how to use those tools and can use them as part of that creative process, not to replace the whole thing, because we know creativity is a journey. And so I think brands who are able to really understand which tools they need and which tools can give them that advantage, I think will be really helpful. And a lot of that comes down to where in the company can some of those tasks, such as data curation, be streamlined, or we have Meta AI built into our internal platforms at the company, and so I'll use our performance review process as an example. You can write down exactly a summary of what you've done for the last half of the year, and go to Meta AI and say, summarize, the three key things, the three key points that I've inputted the review and tell me, what that looks like, make it more succinct or more powerful, or through the tone of Shakespeare,
I love that.
to have a little fun,
Yeah.
and it spits it out. And so when you think about that, 3-4 years ago, 2 years ago even, that took a lot of time to be able to craft and summarize what you were doing. So I think it's those types of things that are, and that's a small thing, it's internal, it's performance related. But when you think about the time that saves an employee having to, summarize something like that, they can spend their time on other things externally. So that's it's a very specific example, but one I think that's relevant from a resourcing perspective.
Yeah, it's super interesting. There's a piece of me that always saw Meta and before Facebook as sort of democratizing key steps in evolution. So democratizing Web 2 first.
Yeah.
Everybody could sort of read and write, post, create something.
Yeah.
Then democratizing VR, and now democratizing AI. And then, we're seeing Orion and democratizing access to a hands-free world. I think that's an interesting trajectory that provides opportunities on both sides. The other piece that I think that's, LlamaCon was your first, AI conference. What did you see? What did you learn? What are the takeaways for you from that conference? Yeah,
LlamaCon was really a huge opportunity for us to really cultivate relationships with our developer community a little more deeply. And so we were really able to understand, okay, what are the key challenges that developers are facing, with our large language models, and how do we want to address some of those challenges? We hosted a hackathon immediately following LlamaCon, which was one of the most successful hackathons that we've hosted in a really long time. So engaging the community, really troubleshooting, some of the things that are preventing them from being able to build on LLMs, it was really, really helpful for us. The other thing I would say is, for businesses and enterprises in particular, really developing and ensuring the relationships between developers and enterprises continues to grow and evolve is really important. To go back to your point around what brands need to stay competitive and to differentiate, having great partners in developers and other companies is really, really helpful. And so being able to facilitate those relationships was also really, really helpful. And then I think from a very macro perspective, there's so much evolution right now in AI. It's such an exciting time. It's very similar to the shift to mobile that we saw, years ago. And I think embracing and knowing that this is very much a test and learn type of time is really, really important. And for us, LlamaCon was all about, we're here, we're on this journey with you. We want to make sure our tools and some of the challenges, that developers may be having are addressed, and also share, here's how we want to build them in the future and get input on that. So really successful from that perspective.
Yeah, so obviously it was a privilege to participate to LlamaCon in April and to create, Imagine Me and also building something on Stack. It's such an exciting privilege. I'm just curious to know, what is it like for you on the other side, like working with partners like us and working with your tech?
First of all, it's such a privilege. We've been working with Left Field Labs for a very long time, pre-COVID. Had an exciting time during COVID, actually building a product at the time called Facebook Stages, which was our internal experiential tool that enabled us to broadcast events around the globe, which was really exciting. I think the key is having really great partners who are able to push the boundaries. And you guys have done that, since the beginning. Certainly with Facebook Stages, but also with LlamaCon and how we're scaling AI activations, enabling consumers, businesses to really experience them in a meaningful way. And so I think the importance of debating and having, conversations around how will this technology be perceived? How will people, engage with it? Is it going to be a passive experience? Is it going to be something that really draws them in? that takes a very innovative partner, which Left Field Labs is certainly
Thank you so much.
that.
I think one of the exciting things for us is the ability to work together on the bleeding edge.
Yeah.
But then also work together to engage an audience. So it's built in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And because Meta has this permission to try things and experiment, tremendous opportunity.
It
so
is. It's
thank
been
you so
amazing.
much, Julie. It's
Thank
been an
you so
absolute
much, Yann.
privilege, and thank you for
likewise.
working together for all these years.
Yeah, thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the heat.
Thank you.
Don't get a sunstroke.
Yes, have a great week in Cannes.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.